Hi, just another poem for today. In the Easter holiday, one of the things I did was go swimming with my daughter. I haven't swum for a while, and it occurs to me how tiring it can be and how just 20 or 30 lengths of a standard sized pool, which is less than a kilometre, seems quite tiring when you're not used to it. So I thought this poem about a channel swimmer would be quite a good one. Okay, it's another from this collection, one of these collections of old North Country dialect poems by Marriot, Edgar. Okay, here we go. The Channel Swimmer. Would you hear a wild tale of adventure, of a hero who tackled the sea, a superman swimming the ocean? Then hark to the tale of Joe Lee. Our channel, our own Straits of Dover, have been swum by an alien lot. Our British-born swimmers had tried it, but that was as far as they got. So great was the outcry in England that darts players neglected their beer, and the Chancellor proclaimed from the woolsack that Joe Lee was the chap for this year. For in swimming pools all round the country, Joe was noted for daring and strength. Quite often he dived in the deep end, and he thought nothing of swimming a length. So they wrote to him, care up workhouse master, Joe was spending the summer with him, and promised him 2 Christmas puddings if over the channel he'd swim. Joe jumped into the breach like a hero. He said, all their fears I'll relieve, and it isn't their puddings I'm after. I told them that last Christmas Eve. Though many have tackled the channel, from Grisnez to Dover that is, for the honour and glory of England, I'll swim from Dover to Grisnez. As soon as these words were made public, the newspapers gathered around. They offered to give him a pension if he lost both his legs and got drowned. He borrowed a tug from the Navy to swim in the shelter of lee. The wireless folk lent him a wavelength, and the waterboard lent him the sea. His wife strapped her mascot around him, and tears to his eyes gently stole. 'Twas some Guinness corks she had collected, and stitched to an old camisole. He entered the water at daybreak. A man with a camera stood near. He said, hurry up and get in, lad, you're spoiling my view of the pier. At last he were in. He was swimming with a beautiful overarm stroke, when the crew of the tug saw with horror that the rope he were tied to had broke. Then down came a fog thick as treacle. The tug looked so distant and dim. A voice shouted, help, I am drowning. Joe listened and found it were him. The tug circled round till they found him. They hauled him aboard like a sack, tied a new tow rope around him, smacked him and then sent him back. 'Twere at sunset, or just a bit later, he realised that all wasn't right, for the tow rope were trailing behind him, and the noose round his waist getting tight. One hasty glance over his shoulder, he saw in a flash what were wrong. The captain had shut off the engine, and Joe were towing the tugboat along. On and on through the darkness he paddled, till he knew he were pretty near in, for the way he kept bumping the bottom and hitting the stones with his chin. Was it Grisnez he had reached? No, it wasn't. The treacherous tide in its track had carried him halfway to Blackpool, and he had to walk all the way back. Nice one. Okay, that's all for tonight. Bye.